Brad McFadden has been an attorney for over 33 years, focusing on a variety of areas, including family law matters, criminal law, and bankruptcy. He's the former mayor of West Covina and has served as a judge pro tem for over 20 years in the LA Superior Courts. Let's meet Brad McFadden. Hello, Brad.
Hi,
thanks for coming in. Good, good. Please sit down. So tell me, Brad, what got you started in the law profession?
Well, basically, I'm a student of the 60s, right? Being 60 years old, I grew up there, and then I guess I was inspired by Robert F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, but when Bobby ran for president in 68, I was 12 years old, got on the RFK club and stuffed envelopes for him for a couple of months. And I was kind of inspired to get into politics and law, and so that was basically my inspiration, and I wanted to become an attorney and get into government service as well.
You know, it does seem that the law profession is a springboard into politics. At least such a high percentage of politicians are lawyers or former lawyers, and I know you got into politics yourself. You were the mayor of West Covina. Tell me about that.
Well, I was graduated West Covina High School in '73, and I was student body president. I ran against the three-term class president, and I was a long-haired rock and roll musician back then, and he was the Joe Jock. But I campaigned hard and beat him.
Wow,
and then,
great.
And I had it. I had the touch. I know somehow I was good at it. So I ran for city council in West Covina in 1988 against a number of other people, but the mayor had been there for 20 years, and I beat him. And we got elected to the city council in '88 and re-elected in '92, and then became mayor in '94, '95 of West Covina. And public service is it's great. Of course, the training as an attorney is very helpful. And once you get into office, there's so much good you can do. It's really, we need good people. We really do. You
know, it's probably good for your law firm clients too, or correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think all the contacts and people that you got to know through your time as mayor of West Covina. I don't know if perhaps if a client comes to you with a business dispute or something, you'd know the people to talk to make things happen. Did it help at all? Does it help your practice?
It helps a little bit. You know, you have to kind of keep in touch because over the years, the people in office change, and you need to keep up with that. It helps. It doesn't hurt to go to the dinners and keep in contact. And it's good because to keep in touch with people so you can work progressively, and they know who you are, and they have confidence in you and trust you as well. So it's very helpful.
Well, tell us what your favorite areas of the law are. I mentioned a couple as I introduced you, but what's your love or your passion? What field?
Well, being an attorney for 33 years. I started with family law and some criminal defense back in '83, '84, and then so I've been actually trying to get out of family law for 25 years, right? But it keeps coming through the door. It's just, I don't know, people can't get along, I guess, and so I like it. I'm good at it.
Well, I was going to say, you must be good at it, or they wouldn't keep coming to you.
Yeah, I really want to do is get into maybe get into entertainment law, me being a guitar player and all that, but that's very complicated, really and so I'm thinking about that, looking into that. But right now I'm sticking with the bread and butter, family law, trusts and wills, bankruptcy, and landlord and tenant, and then the the small felony misdemeanor, DUI, driving was suspended, domestic violence, that kind of thing, because that's pretty commonplace.
What area would you say is the most challenging?
Well, let me think. I think that family law and criminal law probably, because that's when you have to be a real advocate in court. The other ones, like trust and wills, are preparing documents properly. But family law is very challenging because it is very complicated. It can be with property and restraining orders and custody, and
it's an emotionally charged situation with everybody you're dealing with. So I could see
very
why that would
serious
be.
for people.
What would you say sets you apart from other attorneys that do what you do?
Well, I think that what sets me apart of course, there are attorneys that have been practicing longer than I have, of course, but I think that one thing is, because there's a lot of new attorneys out there, right? So it's experience in the area, especially family law. And it's also that I'm a one-man law firm. I do have some law clerks that help me out and with research and so forth, but when I represent somebody, I'm the attorney that shows up for them, works for them, and I'm available by phone. I'm accessible to my clients. So it's a lot of people complain that they never even get to see their attorney that they hired, and they never talk to them, and they send somebody else to court, and they don't even know who that lawyer is. So I'm a very personal attorney. I personally take care of the case, and handle the appearances and meet with the client in my office. So I think that's a personal involvement, and I do work hard for my clients.
Well, I know you do, and I think that is important. And the fact is, you mentioned there's some attorneys, young attorneys, there's some very old attorneys, but you really, as an attorney, you're probably, I would say, you're in your prime. When you've been practicing in that 30-year range, you've seen a lot, you've done a lot, you've learned a lot, and yet you still got that passion and drive. And you're like a 28-year-old baseball player, an attorney. You're probably in the perfect spot.
You're right, because getting older is actually good in the attorney profession. Sure. Because the whiter your hair and the more experience you have, sometimes it helps you more, and of course when you're in court and so forth. So yeah, experience counts. And that I'm getting into the Newt Gingrich, Bill Clinton, George W. Look. Right. It helps sometimes. Yeah. Right.
Well, Brad McFadden, your contact information is on the screen. You are right, and wish you much continued success. Thanks for coming in.
All right. Thank you so much.